It's better now? All right. I'm going to chat for a minute. I'm not going to get into my talk yet. I'm just going to do a little bit of talking, make sure that you guys are confirming that this is consistently better. So long as it is, we'll go ahead and get started. All right. I'm getting positive vibes. Confirmation. Very happy about it. All right. What's going on, Kyler? How are we doing? All right. Let's go ahead and get started. Today, well, I think Kyler is either new or has been a lurker in a previous live stream. So there is decent chat delay. That is true, and I am aware of it. So we'll just work through that. I think it's a OBS thing I have to figure out. This is the first time that so far I have been successful in trying to get this to work out through OBS. So all right, so you're new. I'll give you a rundown real fast. My name's Scott. I am new to YouTube content creation. I'm also new to flipping a Balisong. I've been flipping Balisong for about 6 months. I've been posting on YouTube for about 5 months, mostly actual video drops. But in the last like week and a half, I've been doing live streams and I enjoy them much, much, much more because when I'm talking, I sound like an actual human being as opposed to in my videos where I sound like a robotic Mr. Rogers. So that's a quick rundown. Typically what I do is I do these streams twice a week. Well, I have these streams scheduled twice a week. Every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Central or Eastern Standard Time, and every Saturday at noon Eastern. But I really like doing this. I really like practicing, and I really like talking to the people who tune in because the people who tune in to me are amazing people. So, Kyler, welcome. Say hi to everybody in the chat. Everybody, give Kyler a very, very warm welcome. And we'll give a quick rundown of what today is in comparison to what most days are. Most days, I'm doing a live stream like this, but I'm going to be flipping. I'm going to be talking some type of positive talk, tying back to the Balisong or the Balisong community. And I have been asked to go back to making my videos, starting to do those again. I think I'm going to do that. I think they're going to be a lot better because these live streams have given me more practice in talking in front of a camera. So I think I should be able to do more videos again, maybe one a week, um, focusing more on my flipping and the Balisong, but still having a lot of positive. My thing is positive vibes. So, um, and then one of these days, coming up pretty soon, my next actual video is going to be like my origin story, my why do I post, how did I get here, why do I flip Balisong, how did I get there. So that's going to be coming up pretty soon. I think I'm going to start working on that video here in the next couple of days, but I have no idea how long it's going to take because I don't like editing, and that one I'm thinking is going to be a lot of editing because I'm not going to have any Balisongs in that one. I'm just going to be sitting down in front of the camera, uh, getting pretty um, open, authentic, genuine, and borderline vulnerable. We'll see. So that's a very ADHD rundown of who I am and what you're sitting in for. What I do is I typically write up talking notes that I think will take me about 30 minutes to get through. If nobody's really interacting in the chat, which is fine, if you guys all want to sit silently and just listen to me, that's fine. Those people are called lurkers, and lurkers are totally awesome because they're still communicating or they're still participating. Maybe not communicating, but still viewing, listening, getting something out of it, which is all I really want. Now, if anybody does jump into the chat, then what I do is a little bit of my talking, then I take a break, hop over to the chat, get caught up there, take a break, back to my talking. That's a rundown. So we will start today's chat. And today's chat is a little bit different from my last ones because today's chat is about, I titled it Lives Over Knives, something like that. But essentially, it's, uh, it's a talk about, hold on, I just heard a weird noise and I want to make sure that my sound check. Sound check, sound check. Can somebody confirm that audio is still okay? I'm sorry, I just told all of you that you could be lurkers, and then I asked one of you to make your way to the keyboard. But just want to make sure. Had an audio issue in the beginning, want to confirm there are no audio issues, and I will jump right into it. Sound is good. All right, thank you, Kyler. So, today's conversation is on community over competition. I did a live stream the other day about competition. Um, Go back and watch. That one is the one that is 3 hours of ADHD. I think during that 3 hours, I went over the talk two and a half, maybe 2.5 times, simply because people kept jumping in the chat and then leaving and then coming back, but nobody wanted me to stop talking, so I just kept cycling through stuff. This one is not quite the same. This isn't about competition and putting yourself up against other people and why that is not necessarily a great thing. I'm starting with competition a little bit, but the majority of this talk is more along the lines of community. And it isn't specifically a Balisong talk. Today's talk is really a people talk. I am still going to flip my Balisong, so you have the clickety clack, but yeah, we're talking people today. Um, so competition. Competition doesn't necessarily come full force. It can sneak up on you. You don't necessarily come into a room and think, okay, who am I going to pit myself up against? You walk into the room, you start talking to people. As you start talking to people, you're going to learn their habits, learn their hobbies. You're going to find somebody who has something in common with you. Do I flip some Balisongs dry? I try not to, but I've only been flipping for about 6 months and I don't know a whole lot of stuff. So I haven't really figured out when it's run dry by sound or by feel. But I do use Carbon Honey Thick with churro scent. So the way that I decide whether or not I need oil in my Balisong is it smells like churro. I think it's good to go. I think. But that's how I figure it out. All right. So competition shows up quietly. Uh, it shows up in talking to people and finding out that they share similar interests and hobbies, and maybe are they better at them than you, or are you learning and they're experienced, or are you looking at rankings? Are you looking at your reviews? Are you comparing skill levels or the timelines that it takes for you to pick something up, or how quickly somebody else picks something up? The thing is that sometimes that moment that we start keeping score is when the fun kind of goes away. I'm going to pause on this chat because the chat is going and I don't want to miss stuff. Okay. Do I flip some Balisongs dry purposefully? Uh, no, I don't. But again, new to the hobby, I don't really know why one would flip a Balisong dry on purpose, unless that has something to do with the sound or with the feel. Because I know that putting oil in your Balisong will make it less, I don't know, rattly or whatever. But inform me. Why would I be interested in running a Balisong dry? AMA says, I got a random question if you don't mind. I do not mind because I'm already off to a pretty rocky start, it feels like, on today's chat. So we'll pause. I will warm up my nerves with you guys in the chat. And then once I'm feeling a little calmer, we'll jump back to the discussion for the day. How about that? Okay. So Glacier is jumping in on why I might run a Balisong dry. Some like the feel. It's got a faster swing. Okay. Does it have any impact on the sound at all, or not so much? If so, is it more ringy or is it more muted? Please educate me. All right, while you guys are doing that, I'm going to set the Balisong or keep the Balisong set aside for a minute and try to go through my notes. Um, I will do so slowly. Worst sound to some, more pingy. Ooh, by pingy, do you mean like the high pitch ring? High pitch, okay. Hmm, that's interesting because I like pingy, but I'm spoiled and I can't do a battle song without Carbon Honey Thick. So I will deal with the pingy that comes with the carbon honey. Not so pingy, I guess. All right, we will jump back into it. Um, so sometimes the moment we start keeping score is when the fun shifts. Oh, Kyler is saying that's how you can tell is if it gets really high pitched, pingy. So, I wonder. I may pause like this a time or two, and if I do, I apologize. I have been actively listening to my streams after the fact and have been picking up on how often you all need to listen to me say and So I am actively trying to refrain from saying and nearly as much as I currently do. I flip my Kite AL bone dry so it's more agile when I flip. Do you have the blue or do you have the red? I'm curious. You said Kite AL, right? Not the beta. No, okay. No, if it's mute, it is not. Wait, let me. No, if it's mute, as in. Oh no, it's mute, as in not pingy. Okay. I was asking what your career is. You seem like you have an interesting one. Oh, I must have missed. Okay. Oh, okay, so yeah, AMA, you're right. I started reading your random question and then I got distracted and I don't think I actually read it. Yeah, okay, let me go back to that. Sorry. I've got a random question, if you don't mind, based off what I see and how you are. You seem like you'd have an interesting job. If you don't mind, what is it? I'm not going to get into too many details, but what I will say is that my job involves um, interacting with people, specifically interacting with people. Um, so I deal with people and relationships on a day to day basis. That's what I do. Okay. So deep breath. Okay. So sometimes the moment we start keeping score, the fun shifts. Um, when the fun shifts, we can sometimes feel like we don't belong. So when we refrain from the allowing competition to sneak in, we tend to get a feeling of welcome within the community. Well, it's not when we go into a community without competition. It's when we go into a community that doesn't have competition. Hopefully, that's a little smoother. But you get a feeling of welcome without earning it. You're allowed, like I said earlier, you're allowed to be quiet, and you are able to be valued when you don't show up, when you take a day off. So, uh-oh. Just to confirm, I'm sorry. This has been a rough stream with technical difficulties. I think you can still hear me. Can you confirm that you can still see me? Because I appear to be having internet issues, but my stream is not telling me that I have internet issues. As a matter of fact, my stream is telling me that I have good signal and good views. All right, I'm still here. We'll keep talking. So, uh, coming into a new community. Okay. Have I mentioned I have ADHD? Let's do this again. Specifically, we're going to talk about you guys joining my community. I'm a lot more comfortable with that because that I can. Recently, I have been posting videos talking about the Balisong community, and more recently, I have been feeling. So this is a hot take. More recently, I have been feeling very, very, very stupid and ignorant with regards to how the community, well, what's a good way of saying it? I'm talking about my perception of the Balisong community and the interactions that I have had thus far, which is absolutely amazing. Um, you know, arms wide open, warm embrace. I have been feeling the love from everybody. It appears that that is not the case for everyone in the Balisong community. And I'm just now learning that. So I feel slightly embarrassed, very ignorant. So, because of that, let me take a step back, and we're not talking about the Balisong community today. What we're talking about is Scott's community of super awesome people. That's you. So, in this community, you are welcome without earning it. As a matter of fact, you may be a jerk, but you haven't been one to me. So I welcome you. Thank you. You are allowed to be quiet. I periodically will ask somebody to do a mic check or confirm that my internet is working. I might periodically toss out a statement like, hey, I've gone through all my talking notes. You guys let me know. Do you want to keep going or do you want me to close it out? And in that case, I look for you to chime in and either say, yes, I will participate in a chat, or nope, we're good. You can close it out. In which case, I'll shut down the stream. But aside from those circumstances, as far as I'm concerned, while I'm talking, you guys don't need to type. You guys don't need to do anything other than listen. And if you don't want to do that, you can log off. You don't have to listen either. But you don't have to feel like you need to say something or put yourself out there if you want to be a part of my community. If you want to come and learn with me, listen to me, interact with me, or not, just listen to me. That's fine too. And you're allowed to be valued on your days off. And what I mean by that is if you're having a rough day, you might snap on somebody, and that's okay. People make mistakes. It's kind of, I'm saying this is a people talk, it's not a Balisong talk, but it's kind of like flipping a Balisong in that eventually, no matter who you are, no matter what you're flipping, at some point in time, it's going to drop. So, no matter who you are, no matter how nice you are, at some point in time, you're going to have a bad day. But that's okay. That doesn't make you bad, and that doesn't, uh, I did it. I'm sorry. That doesn't eject you from the community. A bad day is simply that. It is a bad day. Here's another one. Um, when you're having a bad day, right? or if you are being quiet, right? Or if you don't feel like you are welcome because you haven't done anything to deserve it yet. You don't have to explain yourself. For example, if I see there are 7 people in the chat at any given time, 2 people are talking, I'm not going to be begging the other people to chime in and say, "Nope, I'm just lurking." You don't have to explain yourself. You just do. You do you, and that's okay. And my community, at least, it's okay to just be you. All right. We'll take a pause because I have seen a little bit of movement in the chat. So we'll move over to chat for a second. Where did we leave off? All right. AMA says that makes a lot of sense to something. Kyler says yes to something, and Glacier Flip says yes to both. Uh, Beefy's back. I missed you, Beefy. I'm sorry. Oh, and I was even talking to you too, cause yeah, you were the one talking. Talking about the Kite AL, which I have one too. The Kite AL is peak, and then we have RZ Flip showing up. What's going on, RZ? All I'm hearing is good takes. You just showed up then, cause it's been a rough one so far. Let's see. Okay, that is everything that's going on in the chat. Everything looks good with the stream. Let's go back to my my good takes. All right. So, my favorite communities are the ones that you don't have to explain yourself for or explain yourself to. Um, Communities provide a lot of benefit to people in a lot of different ways. But one of those ways is that people tend to grow faster in a community. Um, but not just faster in the community that they've joined, if that makes sense. So I am new to Balisong flipping. I have joined the Balisong community. So in theory, being part of the Balisong community now, my flipping should improve faster than if I were not considering myself part of the community, not interacting, not flipping and trying to connect with others. But the thing is, that's not the only way that people grow faster in a community. People learn more about themselves as they start interacting more. People learn more about others as they interact within the community. People just tend to figure things out when they're around others in general. Um, and it's because the community is safe or should be safe or could be safe. And safety encourages trial, experimentation, winging it. When you don't feel safe, you're not going to try something new. You're not going to wing it. You're not going to just fly by the seat of your pants. You're going to do what you always do because you don't want to screw up. But when you do feel safe, when you have a solid community, mistakes feel okay. And you learn more when you're comfortable making mistakes. Imagine trying to learn a trick on the Balisong, but the moment you drop it, the first time you drop it is the last time you can ever learn or try to learn that trick. What's the likelihood that you're going to end up ever landing that trick versus trying for 5 minutes and giving up for the rest of your life because you dropped it? Eventually, you're going to drop it. You can't gain a skill without practice. And as I've said before, practice is essentially the active practice is the act of becoming less crappy at something that you're currently crappy at. So, You grow faster in a community. You feel safe in a community. You can experiment and make mistakes in a good community. You can learn without pressure. You can learn at your own speed, at your own pace. And success is not limited to resource in a healthy community. That ties us back to where we're talking competition. Because in a healthy community, you don't there you don't have a number one spot. You have improvement, and everybody can improve together. You don't have one person that has to improve on the backs of everybody else. Hopefully that makes sense. Basically someone doing something well does not take away from anyone else. Yeah. So somebody else's growth basically does not slow yours down. Um, as I said before, you're going to have lurkers. You're going to have people who are quiet. You're going to have people who keep to themselves. Those people are affirmed. Those people feel like they're still part of the community. They should be, because they are. Case in point, right now, over the course of the last, I'd say 3 minutes, I got 7 people on the stream. Only person who's chimed into the chat is RZ, which is completely fine. That means we have 6 lurkers there. Lurkers mean you guys are digesting. You guys are listening. You guys are taking it in. You're getting something out of this. That means you're participating. Listening is participation. So I thank you for being here. I thank you for participating. I affirm that you are here and you are a part of my community. You can listen without explaining yourself. You can show up without posting. There are a lot of people that I have talked to in the last week and a half via chat, via my streams, that don't post shorts, that don't post videos, that don't live stream, that don't do anything other than digest other people's content. That's fine. They're still a part of the community. Excuse me. And they're still awesome people. So far in my streams, I have not interacted with anyone who was not an amazing person. Closest to a negative interaction that I've gotten was when I was explaining my appreciation for the Balisong hobby and the Balisong community. And I kind of overdid it. And someone responded with, "Dude, it's a knife." That was the closest that I've received to constructive criticism. So, you know, everybody so far has been amazing. But at least half of those people have been lurkers and quiet members. And I love them. They are awesome. The other thing, and it's part of what I do, is you may not post. You may just watch. And when you watch, you may like, and you may comment, you may subscribe. That's contribution. That's encouragement. Encouragement is a form of contribution. So even if you don't flip a Balisong, you may love watching people flip Balisongs and subscribe to Balisong flippers and like their videos and comment on their shorts. And that makes you a part of the Balisong community by way of being an encouraging participant, a contributor to the hobby. So that's how how I start. That's my big thing is encouragement. So even if I couldn't, if both my hands got broke and I couldn't flip a Balisong, I would probably still be doing these just like I am now, not flipping. But I would definitely still be watching the videos and subscribing to all of the amazing smaller content creators that I have found thus far. Watching the videos, adding to their views, adding to their likes, and commenting. That's what I do. Everybody can do it. But if that's all you do, you're still a part of the community. You're still bringing something to the table. That's awesome. You don't. This one hits hard for me because, as I've noted before, I've only been in the Balisong community for about 6 months. And while my reception to the community that I have received thus far has been amazing, my flipping is not. So, my big takeaway from that is that you don't need to be impressive to matter. Or at least that's been my reception to the Balisong community. Maybe not everybody's, but I hope your reception to my part of the Balisong community is that you don't have to be impressive to matter. You don't have to post to matter. Um, all you have to do is let me know you're here in one way, shape, or form, and you will get the attention. I will make sure that you are seen, that you are heard, that you feel valued. That's that's what I do. So competition has its place, but not everywhere, and not in my community. My community is all about uh, caring for each other and keeping the joy of Balisong flipping alive. No drama, just flipping. End of the day, you don't have to win to belong. You just have to be awesome. And yo, you guys are awesome. So, let me give you guys a question to mull over, and then I'm going to hop back over to chat, take a break on the talking. So the question I'm going to ask, feel free to respond. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But what may for you guys in a community, whether it be the Balisong community, a car enthusiast community, or my community, what makes a space feel welcome to you? That's my question to you guys. So I'm going to run over to chat. We'll see what's going on. I think I just spat water out. All right. RZ Flips says, all I'm hearing is good takes. Appreciate it. I think the chill communities are almost always good communities. Agreed. Well, I mean, yeah, because chill communities don't have so much drama, right? Like a podcast in a way. Oh, with regards to being a lurker, yeah, agreed. Like I said, the other day I was in a stream, and I had seen that there were a number of people there, but a couple people in the chat, and I had made some sort of comment, just kind of confirming the people were there, and somebody had said hi, but then they followed it up with, hey, I'm sorry, I'm lurking, and I thanked them for being there. Um, yeah, for those people, and I do it too. I mean, I apologized to Ethan the other day because I let him know. Sometimes I put on Blade Bias and then switch to a different internet tab and start doing something else. And I just listen to it like a podcast or like a radio show. So if any of you are doing that, thank you. Thank you for thinking that I have something interesting enough to say that it's worth your listening. All right, RZ says, oh, like a podcast in a way. Yep. Okay, so Beefy says, I had luck to find a good community before my first Balisong arrived. I'm only 7 months in the hobby. All right, Beefy. Well, you are older than me in the hobby. Excuse me. I am so happy to hear that you had good luck in the community, though. Again, I have had nothing but the most amazing reception into this community from every angle perceivable. I keep umming, and have just recently learned that's not the case for everybody, and it breaks my heart. So I'm glad to hear, Beefy, that you also had a great entry into the community. RZ says, I pretty much lurked the community for months until recently, and it's been so amazing. RZ, welcome, welcome out of the lurking and into the conversation. Ego says, "What's up, Scott? How has your day been?" Ego, you know full well I'm living the dream. That is my thing. It doesn't stop. I'm always living the dream. That's that's it. But thanks for asking. How are you? RZ says, "You ever done like motivational speaking? You sound like you'd be really good at it." I have not ever done motivational speak. I guess technically you could probably call these live streams motivational speaking, but no, I have not done motivational speaking. And I would be very terrified to do it in any way, shape, or form other than the way I'm doing it right now. Because right now I'm just in front of a camera. If I actually had to do this in front of people, I would be in the fetal position right now. Let's see. Jax. Jax. Jack says, "Hey, Scott." Well, Jack says, "Hugh Scott." But then Jack says, "Hey, what's going on, Jax? How are you doing? I love you." Ego says, I would say just being positive and open, much like you are, it's very welcoming. Welcome to my community. Glacier says, "I think just having people to interact with that are nice is enough to be welcoming." Good. RZ says, "As long as the community is together and open, it's good for me." I heard somewhere that pausing instead of saying and stuff makes you sound intelligent. I've heard that too. Um, RZ says, "From like a TED Talk or something." I've heard a lot of good stuff from TED Talks. IDK, as a matter of fact, I'll pause. So, RZ, you asked if I've ever been a motivational speaker. And while I have never been a motivational speaker, I will say that this is not, in fact, the first time that I have done one of these talking about positive things in front of a group of people, now that I think about it. Because a couple years ago at work, I had volunteered to do something very similar to this in a live stream with like 300 people watching, where I was talking about the importance of having the curiosity of a child. Essentially, the importance of asking why. And it was probably about a 15-minute talk. Um, but I would say that that was probably a motivational speak if I had to classify it as something. All right, back to the chat. IDK says, "So I'll be sending those STLs sometime tonight." Perfect. As soon as I get it, that will remind me to send the one that I had said I was going to be sending your way. Beefy says, "A good community is a community that helps when it's needed." Agreed. Agreed. I would take that a step further and say a good community is a community that looks for opportunities to help when it's not asked for. But that's not to offset your definition, just to maybe season it a little bit. RZ says, "Darn, that's a lot of people." Dumpy Truck says, "The five whys." Well, the five whys. Oh. Dumpy Truck knows about the five whys. That's exciting. I brought up the five whys very much so in my talk. I'll get into the five whys here in a second, just to educate some people in the world of analysis. But first, Glacier Flips says, "Seeing better flippers always inspires me to do better because I want to be able to do that." So that's the other side of, I won't say it's the other side of competition, but it is I will say it's the opposite of competition. What you're talking about there, Glacier, um, isn't looking at somebody else and saying, how can I be better, or why are they better than me? You're talking about inspiration, and that's the opposite of competition. It's basically the two sides of the same coin, and that coin is observation. Um, so you observe, and you can either be inspired by what you're seeing, or you can be, what's a what's an active tense word for competition? Compete, I guess, but not for a person. Anyway, two sides of the same coin. Observation. One side of it, you have inspiration. The other side of it, you have, I will say, defensiveness. Feeling like there is somebody to protect yourself against or attack. Competition. Anyway, Dumpy Truck is a 35-year-old professional, which explains why Dumpy Truck knows the five whys. Either way, 35-year-old professional or not, I I am impressed with your knowledge of the five whys. Not everybody knows it. So the five whys is basically, the funny thing is, Dumpy Truck, you will appreciate, and being 35, you may be able to also appreciate why it was such a horrible idea. But when my son was 3, I want to say, I taught my son the five whys. So imagine a 3-year-old toddler who is inquisitive over everything being instructed by their father to ask why at least 5 times every time. And that was my life for, yep, that's been my life. All right, let's see what's going on in the chat. Ego says, I used to get frustrated seeing a lot of people do tricks that seemed so out of reach, but I used that as motivation to learn more rather than some of my friends who seemed to be deterred and stop advancing. Yeah. Again, I mean, two sides of the same coin. You observe somebody doing something, and you can. There are more ways that you can respond to seeing somebody do something, but two very appropriate to this conversation ways would be offended and turn it into a competition, or be inspired and do something with that. So, Ego, I'm glad that you were able to be inspired. Can't flip for shit. What's going on, man? The only reason I ever wanted to improve my flipping is watching James Hill. Gotcha. So is that because you saw what James Hill was doing and you thought you could do it better? Or is that because you saw what James Hill was doing and it inspired you? Or was it really not the flipping of James Hill at all, but instead the charisma and attitude and inspiration that James himself brought? Very curious. What was special about James Hill that made you want to get better? Ego says everyone learns at their own pace. Also, that is a true statement. I have to continuously remind myself that, because I see people who are flipping and they're like, no, I haven't been doing this for very long. I've only been doing this for 4 months. And I'm like, dude, that's a ladder. And I am barely getting by with the Z choker. I've been doing this for 6 months. I should be better. But at the end of the day, I take a step back and I look at what they're doing. And honestly, I am just legitimately excited. If I see anybody succeeding at anything, I'm just, you know, over the moon excited for him. Let's see. Dumpy Truck says, LMAO, kids are asking why 8 times anyways. That's true, but they're not necessarily asking 8 times at 3. I don't know. All I know is whatever was going on, I made exceptionally worse when I taught him to say why a bunch. That was, yeah. All right. James Hill is insane at doubles. I don't know if anyone comes close to him. Doubles. What are what are doubles? Educate me, ego. Um, I didn't learn the Z choker for like a year and some change, probably. Well, thank you, ego. Something tells me you probably waited about a year before you tried it, but I appreciate it. Dumpy Truck says, LOL, you justified him and gave him direction. He'll make a good investigator someday. Yeah, you're right. He will. He is a little analytical smart kid. That's what he is. All right. Can't flip for ship says, I was understanding just how good you can be. Oh, it was understanding just how good you could be. I remember I thought he was flipping and doing an audio voiceover, and then I realized he was just talking while flipping, and then I realized there's levels. Oh, there's levels. Ego says, nah, I tried that trick all the time, but I never understood it. Okay. Um, I'm glad you understand it now, and I'm glad you were able to knock it out. So if you weren't, here's a question for you, ego. Um, you know I've been flipping for 6 months. If you weren't doing the Z choker to ice pick at 6 months like I am, what kind of tricks were you learning at 6 months? I'm curious if you're going to start rattling out a whole bunch of stuff that I've never heard of before. RZ says, for several months, being on and off flipper, I refused to learn anything simply because it all looked so hard. Yeah, I can understand that, especially if you're an on and off flipper. Um, yeah, might not be motivated to really try anything new. You might just want to do the same old stuff that you've been doing because you're not feeling it. Can't flip for ship said, made me feel inspired to try to bring that quality to my videos at least as much as I could. That's really cool. Out of curiosity, did you ever reach out to, what was his name? James Hill? Did you ever use any of the social media outlets to attempt to reach out and say, hey, FYI, this is the impact you had on me. I wouldn't be doing what I was doing if it weren't for you or anything like that. RZ says, annoying to see how easy some of those things I avoided was. Well, give yourself a little grace, RZ. You were most probably avoiding those things because at the time they weren't easy. When you were ready to try them, you learned them. Now looking back on them, the learning process wasn't so hard. But had you not been interested in doing it at the time, if you were just going through the motions because you felt you were obligated to, I believe it probably would have been harder for you to succeed, just simply because you wouldn't have been you wouldn't have been going into your practice the best way that you could for trying to learn something new. You would have been stressed. You would have been frustrated. You would have, with every drop, gotten more stressed and more frustrated because you just can't do the darn thing. But when you are in that good mindset to learn something new and you are excited about it and looking forward to it, the drops don't feel so much like failed attempt as like a near success. I think that's my positive spin on this one. Um, Either way, let's see. Either way, yeah. Either way, I'm glad that you did stop avoiding those tricks and improve. Ego says, I was landing the full twirl and trying to do chaplains on my other fingers in between directions. As well as fans, I was obsessed with fanning. Okay. So chaplains, yep. Full twirl, yep. Fans, yep. But doing chaplains on my other fingers in between directions. I'm not quite sure what you're saying there. If what you're saying is going like doing chaplains and switching the finger that it was on. I just tried that like the other day while chaplaining and didn't break anything. I was kind of happy about it. RZ says, I've been hard locked on flipping for over 2 months now. Awesome, RZ. Out of curiosity, was it about 2 months ago that you started posting your stuff? I can't remember how long ago it was. I know it was about 2 months ago that I stumbled across you, but was that when you did start uploading too? Can't Flip says I did on Instagram and he messaged back. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool when you have somebody in the community that you look up to? And again, I totally understand that my experience with the Balisong community is not necessarily the experience that everyone has. But my experience with the Balisong community thus far has been an absolute dream. Um, and solely due to the fact that I put my stuff out and everybody just gives me the greatest response. I see these people that I look up to because of their flipping quality or because of their content quality or because they're wearing a shirt that makes me think that they must be a nice person. And I reach out. And in a couple videos now, I have said that thus far there have probably only been about 2 people in the hobby that have not reached back out to me. But what I can say at this point is that there is no one that I have reached out to that has not responded back. Be it, oh, there's one company that hasn't responded back to me. But other than that one company that hasn't responded back to me, companies, makers, flippers, content creators with 10 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, 20,000 subscribers. Everybody I have reached out to eventually has reached back to me and been nothing but supportive, and it's just amazing. So, Can't Flip, I'm so happy that you took it upon yourself to try to reach out to what was it, James Hill, and more so that James was the kind of person to respond. That's so cool. Okay, I've let chat get way away from me, so let's do that, and then we're probably going to start wrapping things up, to be honest, because we've hit the I think we've hit the hour marker, or pretty darn close. Um, RZ says, in my opinion, once I got the choker fan, it unlocked the realm of intermediate advanced tricks for me. I have gotten the slowest choker fan in the world like twice. So sadly, that has not unlocked the slowest intermediate tricks for me twice. But I totally get the excitement of being able to land it. Ego says, by leading, I mean learning. And I was also trying to get the shortstop down for a long time. You got, I tell you, I'm gonna put like a mod on here that deletes every comment that says shortstop until I learn it. Okay. I mean both like reverse and forward. Oh, okay. Uh, oh my goodness. Is that Otonoko? Bailey. Oh my God. Okay, number one, Otonoko is here, which is cool. I've heard so much about you. I know nothing about you, but I've heard so much about you. In that, I need to watch your flips. And in all honesty, I haven't been able to yet because I can't figure out where to watch your flips. Um, I don't know how to Instagram other than blowing people's DMs up and posting photos. I've just now started to be able to figure out how to watch other people's reels and heart them, and that's pretty cool. But I don't know how to find you. I have not successfully done it yet, and I couldn't find you on YouTube. So, Otonoko, find me. Oh, I have found you on, or I have seen you on one of the Discord servers. If you have any interest, let me know, and I will send you invites to my Discord server. That would be cool. But no pressure. You don't have to because you were an awesome flipper, and yeah. But you called me Baliong. I love that. So you are now awesome. Well, you were also already awesome. But how stream been so far? Stream, I don't know. You guys tell Otonoko how his stream been so far. I don't think I'm a good gauge for that because I think stream has been pretty rough thus far. I made it through my talk. I got through all my talking points at the end of the day. But man, it's it's been a Scott has had talking issues today on top of technical issues, but we're working through it. Beefy says, I'm intermediate only because I had the time and influence of other intermediate flippers that spent time to teach me. Beefy, that is awesome. I'm glad that you had that experience too. RZ says, yeah, it was just over 2 months ago when I posted my Squiddy Bee unboxing. Yeah, I want to say that it wasn't far long after that, if not immediately after that, that I subscribed. You were probably one of the first small channels that I started my support the community with, RZ. So you're one of my OGs, FYI. Can't Flip for Ship says you should do a co-stream where you learn a trick from one of your viewers. That would be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool. I don't know about a co-stream. I have been asked uh, and suggested a couple times to do a collab on stream, but I don't know because my streams, as you guys know, are totally different than other people's. Um, I'm not flipping crazy today. I apologize, Otonoko. I usually do flip more. Today is just a talk day because today we're talking about people more so than Balisongs. But anyway, man, ADHD and the chat is really getting away from me. Okay, so I don't know about a co-stream, but what I do like is periodically there. Well, no, I don't want to say that because I don't want people to do that and maybe overwhelmed. So I don't know. I do like the idea of learning, having you guys teach me stuff. I just think we need to figure out a way to do that. Maybe we could do that. I don't know. I don't know. I'll think about how I might be able to come up with a way that we can help teach each other. We'll see. Young blood, what's going on? I missed your stream today, sir. I am so sorry, but you were streaming while I was working, and I can't do that. Hopefully, it was a good stream, though. It looked like you had a large number of views or a larger number of views. So let me know how it went. Otonoko says this community is just the right level of large to have very high level and profile people, but small enough for everyone to basically interact immediately. It's awesome. So yeah, that's there is so much that I can unpackage with regards to my observations with the community, uh, completely in a positive way. Not even going into the rough spots. Um, yeah, no, I agree. Full stop. I had Yeah, you broke my brain. I have nothing more to say. You nailed it. RZ says, you ever consider doing a full co-stream with another creator? Okay, so I started on that. Let me kind of roll back to it. I have thought about it in that I have asked myself, if I were to do it, what would it look like? The issue is most live streamers who do Balisong content are actively flipping, and usually, no, that was stupid Mako. Um, so they're usually actively flipping. They're usually really good at actively flipping, and they're usually doing a head mounted setup. I don't do any of those things. I do crappy flipping, and I'm in front of the camera. You guys can see my ugly mug as opposed to just saying this all the time. So I don't know how this kind of format would work with a head-mounted image. It would be very strange. I don't know. I don't know how that would work. So I'm not completely writing off the idea. I just don't know how it would work. But I have ideas that fall under a similar umbrella that I am thinking on. So while I don't know about a co-stream sort of thing with another creator, I am trying to think of ways that, just like I'm interacting with others in the community via this, I want to interact with others in the community that do content creation as well. I mean, Can't Flip for Ship, Youngblood, RZ Flip. I mean, so many of you guys are content creators. I like interacting with you. So I'm not opposed to interacting with anybody. I don't quite know how to do it yet. Um, Youngblood says, foul language. You have a bunch of sick flippers in your stream, Scott. See, Youngblood, I believe you. I truly do, because if anyone in my stream holds a Balisong, as far as I'm concerned, they're a freaking sweet flipper. But I'm also, again, ignorant because I've only been doing this for 6 months. And as I just explained to Otonoko, I don't know a dang thing about Instagram. My father probably knows more about Instagram than me. So I don't recognize, yeah, most of these names. I've seen more that you have done than I have seen Otonoko or Can't Flip for Ship or RZ Flip or, So, but again, no offense to anybody. I just happen to be an idiot. Let's wet my whistle and keep on going. All right. Ego says, Otonoko, you're my favorite flipper by far. Love you. Oh, okay. Otonoko is that level, which I assume because, whatever. Everybody keeps telling me I need to check Otonoko out, though I still don't know how. Same as here. Oh, okay. Wait. Same as here for what? For YouTube, for Instagram, for Discord, for dot dot dot. Oh, Can't Flip for Ship is unking me too. Bally Unk should be the new channel name. I don't know. I mean, I can read those words. I'm not going to. But I don't quite know what they're supposed to mean. What sentiment are you conveying? Gas. I don't know. I think it's been awesome. Ego, you think what's been awesome? The stream so far? You're getting can't flip for ship up to speed? If so, I appreciate it. Otonoko says, also, I'm absolutely down to join your Discord. Just send me a DM on there. Sweet, man, I will. Or I say man, and I'm making assumptions, and I shouldn't. I apologize. Sweet, Otonoko, I will. Um, RZ Flips, if you ever feel like if you ever feel like it, I'm so down to do the same kind of stream to co-stream with you. I appreciate that, RZ. Like I said, I don't know about things yet, but you enjoy talking about things. Cool. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'll stick with that. I don't know. Otonoko, I'm someone that also likes to do third person angles, albeit I don't stream really LMAO, but honestly, if you ever want to learn a trick or stream at some point, I'd be down to help you out. I appreciate that. I really do. You might be biting off more than you can chew because I think I'm a slow learner, but I appreciate it. I will reach out to you one way or the other. Youngblood says, I love streams as a streamer because it's less tense. I'm actually talking to people interacting. Same, man. I've always hated my YouTube videos. Um, and when I look back on them, I've said it a billion times. I sound like the the mashup of a robotic Mr. Rogers meets Bob Ross. I don't know what the deal is, but I just sound like an unauthentic robot that really tries to care but doesn't know how to. Whereas when I go and watch my streams, I seem, at least to me, to be a very energetic, charismatic, borderline, maybe kind of funny sometimes uh, person who actually sounds like a human being. So because of that, I've kind of stopped doing videos and just stuck with streams. But I think the thing that I'm learning is that stream practice is getting me a little more comfortable talking to camera. So I don't know. I've said it before. I'll say it again on the last stream and the stream before. My next video, because I am going to do at least one more. But my next video is going to be the whole like, hey, here's my story. The knives are down. Here's my story. I'm sitting down. I'm just talking to you. This is why I got into the hobby. This is how I, found my way here. And this is why I'm doing what I do. Um, Shoot, total ADHD moment. Why did I go into that story? Hmm. I don't know. Last thing I remember prior to that was letting Otonoko know that I'm a slow learner. There's a gap somewhere that I just don't remember. Anyway, let's go back to chat. Um, RZ says, if you ever feel like, oh yeah, down to co-stream with me, awesome. Otonoko, oh yep, down to stream too, or learn, whatever. Youngblood, oh yeah, okay. Maybe did I finish this thought? So love streams because it's less tense. I didn't finish that thought, but I remember it now. So I sound like a robotic Mr. Rogers. When I go back and I watch my streams, I sound like a human being. So I stuck with streams and I stopped doing videos. I think my practice with streams is going to make the videos better because now I know how to go through a 30-minute script based off of talking notes as opposed to reading word for word everything that I have written down for my entire script off of a TV. So we'll see. Um, okay, where did I leave off? Okay, Otonoko says Instagram. Cool. So I will look you up on Instagram using that handle. Also said gas means awesome. Oh, sweet. So the that foul language awesome means that this is awesome. Sweet. I appreciate that. It's like the more modern way to call something fire. Oh, man, and I thought I was pretty modern because I've been using fire. Yeah, you guys let me know on a scale of 1 to 10, how cringy is it when I use words like fire or peak? Just inquiring minds want to know. Ego says, yeah, I think the stream has been really good. I always enjoy seeing you and chatting. Ego, I would say the best, but there are so many bests in here. You are awesome. I appreciate you. I love you. AMA says, rubber baby buggy bumper. How much would chuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? RZ says, if you ever get the point, or if you ever get to the point of teaching someone else a funny trick, I've thought of, wait, if you ever get to the point of teaching someone else a funny trick I've thought of is imagine teaching your left hand what to do. Oh, okay, I get what you're saying there. I'm a go. Stream was great. Thank you, Glacier. If you're still here, thanks. Love you. RZ says, bye, Glacier. And I got to go too. See you, Scott. Bye, RZ. Thanks for showing up. All right. So let's see. I asked what makes somebody feel like the space is welcome. I got a couple other questions. Otonoko, actually, me and another flipper have a Google Doc that's meant for beginners, but it has a lot of important flippers to follow on Instagram, but I probably need to update it and add some more. All right. Well, I mean, hey, I'm about to bring you onto my server here at some point, and at some point we'll just connect. And when we do, you can educate me on all of the things. Or, you can just send me the Google Doc and educate me that way. Whatever. I am easy to work with. But let's see. My next here we'll take a little pause because we had a couple people drop off. We've been going on for about an hour now. For the most part, I've gotten through all of my talking notes. You guys let me know. Are you interested in continuing on and listening to a little more chatter, or are we about ready to wrap things up? Do you guys have things to do? And for any lurkers out there, I am so sorry I'm asking you to come to the keyboard. I know that I've told you that you don't have to. I just want to find out if the lurkers want to keep lurking. Tell me something. In the meantime, I'll grab something to flip. I apologize. You guys have, this is like the longest. No, this probably hasn't been the longest I've streamed without flipping, but that was a lot of just talking. All right. I don't see much going on. Oh, you're chill. Okay, AMA, you're chilling. Cool. All right. Well, let me run through some of these. You guys answer in the chat if you want to. If any of these questions that I came up with speak to you, drop your answers in the chat. Otherwise, I might let's see. Nah, it's low key tough when you say fire. Wait. Okay, it's low key tough when I say fire. Does that mean it's still like you're talking English, but not quite? I know what low key means. Tough to me sounds like you're saying it is hard for you to accept that. So if I say fire, are you like, is it cringy? And if not, now you're gonna have to educate me on what low key tough means. Ego says you're chilling. All right, so AMA and Ego is good to go. Otonoko says, I'm definitely interested. These formats of stream are cool. Thank you. Ethan of Blade Bias does pretty similar by just talking about anything he wants to on his Camaro EE channel. Ethan's GOAT. Ethan is. I wish that I could do this as well as how he does his videos. I mean, if I could do head-mounted half as well as him. I mean, basically when I started doing this, not to hype up Ethan because he's got a big enough head as it is. That is a joke. I love Ethan. But when I started doing this, that's really where I was kind of gauging not how good I was, but how well I wanted to do. I wanted to do at least as well as he did in a talking and interacting to no one but yourself. Which is why I've really struggled and why I do the live streams more than his head mounted stuff. But he does do the live streams, which are amazing. Um, and yeah, the last one especially. Just again, being super new to the community and interacting with the community, and especially in something like, Ethan's last live stream was really cool and informative. Uh, and now everybody calls me, you know, an unk. All right, where'd I leave off? Oh, okay. AMA says, "Oh, I have a good question. When do you plan on getting a live blade?" Oh, I got one. I got two. So I have a live blade. I don't flip them a whole lot. I do flip the rep a lot. I don't flip the Orion V1.5 all that much, but that's simply because it's the Christmas edition. So I primarily got this as being a box cutter for the holidays. The rep I have not been flipping very often for the last week because when I went through and I screwed up all my Balisongs by messing with the weights intentionally, this made it way more handle bias than I really like. But I've been too lazy to swap out the channel spacers to remove the extra weight that I added. So it's a matter of time. Eventually, I'll get those weights back out, get it back to a nice balance that I like, and I'll flip it more. Let's see. Tough equals cool. So, oh my gosh, that's tough equals cool. So I was told, let me go back to the note. I love streams as a streamer because, I don't know if that was a different, where was it? I think it was, wasn't it Can't Flip? Where was it? I'm sorry, now I'm wasting your guys' time just because I'm really curious what the terminology was where I was told that I was a, and it's probably like two up, isn't it? I don't know. But apparently I'm cool. That's cool. I appreciate it. He already has a couple. Yep, I do. Otonoko says tough is basically another way of saying cool. Yep, thanks. I remember when he was still newer to content, I did a collab on a squid trainer review with him before I was like any good at flipping LMAO. I think I missed a comment by you. I did. I'm definitely interested in those formats, and they're cool. Ethan, Blake Bias does. Nope. Where did I miss? Tough is basically. I remember when he was still newer. Oh, okay. Now I got it. You remember when Ethan was still newer to content, and you did a collab on the Squid Trainer review with him before you were like any good at flipping. Oh, really? All right. Is that still out there? If so, I will go back and watch it. That will be my intro to Otonoko. That video is unlisted. Well, that answers that question at this point because I'm not very proud of it. Aw, videography, 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 video. Movie making stuff isn't great, and I didn't have anything near as much knowledge as I do now. Man, Otonoko, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm guessing here. You might be a lurker, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm guessing, is this the first time you've been on one of my streams? If so, I have a response to that statement, but I don't want to make assumptions. I've made too many of those today. So you let me know. Is this your first experience with Scott? AMA says, ah, I see. Tony's here. Hello, Tony. How are we doing today? AMA says, personally, I really want to get a good live blade. Kershaw Lucha would be, or to be exact. Okay. Dumpy truck. Do you carry a Bally with you throughout the day? I do, but I carry the trainer because the live blade is too long for me to carry on my person without getting in trouble. Additionally, I have no reason to carry a live blade with me when I go anywhere because I am as lazy as it comes and I don't have a reason to carry any type of utilitarian weapon or tool. I just like something that I can flip around. Excuse me. AMA flips Good Life Blade and Kershaw Lucha in the same sentence is crazy. Tony, 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 Tony. AMA may really, really, really like Kershaw, and that's cool. That's okay. But it's nice to know Tony does not think that the Kershaw is a good blade. I like to know people's preferences. Dumpy Truck isn't the Lucha on ball bearings. Didn't think or don't think I'd like that. I think the Lucha is on ball bearings. First time I've seen you in here. Yeah. Okay. So let's get caught up on the chat, and then I will go back to your last comment. I have ADHD. If I don't, remind me. Okay. Can't flip for ship says. Bye, Belly. Oh, peace out. All right, he's got to get up early tomorrow. It is 9 o'clock. I do have to wrap this up pretty soon. Okay, hear me out. The zippy cycloid hand, yeah, yep. Okay, those are pretty neat. See, Tony, good. I'm glad you came around. Okay, so Tony, I'm sorry, I'm giving you a hard time. I love you. Otonoko, where did I leave off? The Lucha is a great knife, but a terrible flipper for sure. Oh, that's good to know. I used to have one. Was my first live blade. Worst cut I've ever gotten from one. Ooh, rough. Yeah, I like the look of them, and I believe that the Raceway washer Zippy improves the performance of bearing slot. KDL 1.5 released today. I thought they had already released it. Like yesterday or 2 days ago or sometime over the weekend. I want to say that I was like streaming when it happened. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Either way, I'm not getting it yet. But that's really exciting to know that it's officially released. I did they release it in all the colors? I mean, I say all the colors. I think last time I looked, they just had two. They had the red and whatever camouflage, and then they had a silver. Yep, red and green camo and silver. So, which is weird because in the pictures they have a black option, and yeah, that's a lie. But I'm also pretty sure in the pictures that they had on Instagram, Otonoko, so you're aware, I have not forgotten to go back to your question. I just got distracted. I'm fairly confident in the computer images that they had posted on Instagram. Um, the images had like speed channels and they don't have speed channels. I might be mistaken. I might be forgetting stuff, but I thought that I had seen that there were speed channels and then it was gone. All right. Yeah, you want me live though? Yeah, Tony, I don't know what's going on. The picture, I mean, the black looks sick. Uh, but yeah, no black option on the uh, website yet. It's a bummer. And no live option on the website yet. Another bummer. Plus, they reduced the weight of the Lucha to 3.6 and add a lot of tune ability. Okay, cool. Um, one thing to be aware of, FYI, for everybody who is interested in the Kite AL 1.5, I just learned today, sadly, one of the things that I was excited about was they had noted that the bottle opener was actually going to be functional this time, unlike the original Kite AL. Can you call it an original Kite AL when the original Kite was the Kite Beta? Anyway, I'm sorry. The bottle opener doesn't work on the new one, supposedly. All right, what was Otonoko's question that I need to finally go back to? Or it wasn't a question, it was a statement that I felt very... I was reminded something. That video is unlisted. That's one. That video is unlisted at this point because I'm not very proud of it. The videography isn't great, and I didn't have anywhere near as much knowledge as I do now. Okay, with all that lead up, I'm actually not going to say anything about that. But when you and I, hook up on Discord, I do have something I want to talk to you about with regards to that. Just to pick your brain and get a little bit more information. Let's see. IDK says, all I want with the kite is the handles smaller because I had the V1 and sold it in like a month. See, I like the handles on my Kite AL V1. The only thing I don't like about the handles is the fact that when you switch the G10 scales out for like PLA 3D printed scales, um, they they become more clacky and you lose a lot of handle weight or enough handle weight that I hate it. I don't hate it, but I can't flip it very well. But it fans good. IDK, oh, I already covered that. AMA says, and the MagnaCut version. Okay. See, I've heard that MagnaCut isn't actually nearly as impressive as whatever. Kite AL 1.5 has cutouts under the scales for weight reduction. That I saw, but I was sure, Beefy, that I also saw speed channels. I thought that the image, I'm gonna see if I can find it. I thought that the image had both the cutouts under the scales like the Thomas Balisong has, but I thought that it also had speed channels. So let's go and see that I'm wrong. Let me find where it is. Oh no, I'm not going to. I'm not going to find it because that went away. Okay, let's get back to this. Otonoko says, I will say I am currently working on a review of the Nautilus Crescent. Wait, Nautilus, what am I talking? Nibalis Crescent. Jeez. The designer had Nibalis send me one for review. Really? That is awesome. That is very, very cool. Yeah, the Crescent has been getting a whole lot of attention, and everybody's been reviewing it. Super happy to hear. Are you when you review it? How do you do your reviews? Do you review on Instagram then? Just gotta know. AMA says, what do you have to say about MagnaCut? I'm genuinely curious. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I haven't really heard anything bad about it. The only thing that I've heard was basically the way that I have a buddy who's like all about knives and all about blade quality. And the way that he's described it to me is you have all of these categories, um, not categories, all of these attributes that a blade may have, whether it be hardness, whether it be wear resistance, corrosion resistance, like various attributes. And each of those attributes has like a range of how good or bad it might be. And my understanding is the way it's been explained to me is that MagnaCut, or is it MagnaCut? Yeah, MagnaCut, um, uh, has like 10 out of 10. And one of those categories that everybody is like, oh my gosh, that. And it might be sharpness or sharpness retention or whatever. But my buddy explained that when it comes to the brittleness of the material, it's actually not as strong as some weaker materials that don't hold their edge as well, but the blade itself will hold up a whole lot better. Again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I happen to be an idiot and oftentimes don't know what I'm talking about. All I can do is tell you to fact check me because I'm probably wrong. If you want to get a MagnaCut knife, by all means, do so. I'm sure it's the best. Tony says MagnaCut is RLY. What does that mean? RLY. See, I can't, ever since I've started interacting with you kids, I have been Googling so. Oh, it's just an abbreviation for really. Okay, cool. Yeah, it's like every 20 seconds I have to Google something else because I don't know what people are saying. I'm sorry, I'm aging myself, but you guys are awesome and I love you. MagnaCut is really good knives, steel, It is worth the hype. Low key. I got that one low key. That was a guess. Tell me if I'm wrong. I think it's better for Bally's though. Really? I think they just released a Magna Cut sequel. I forgot what it's called, but I think it is better. Okay. Otonoko, I plan to upload it to YouTube. Sweet. I used to make review type videos. Those aren't public anymore because of improvement in quality, and the old ones are like outdated. Got it. Tony says, I think there are better steels for Bally's. I mean, oh, okay, got it. AMA says, they have a Magna Cut version of the Lucha, and it seems like a good option for Bally's. All right. And Tony says, at least flipping wise, unless you EDC it, Magna Cut isn't really necessary. Yeah. I mean, for me, I know I would never be interested in a Magna Cut blade just simply because it's overkill. I don't need it. I mean, the thickest thing I'm going to need to cut through is, I would say cardboard, but I don't cut through cardboard even. I cut through tape. That's it. All right. I think I'm caught up in chat. I have gone over all of my notes. I will give you guys one last question and we'll give you a couple minutes to chime in if you want to. And then I'm going to drop. Um, hmm. Okay, out of curiosity, I like this one because a lot of you guys are, well, I don't, hmm. No, I don't want to. Never mind. So the question was, do you prefer quieter spaces or energetic spaces? And the reason I was going to ask that is because my space is quieter. The Flippy Boys space is very energetic. So FYI, so I don't have a question, but I will say, if you guys want high energy, the Flippy Boys server is where it's at for you. But if at any point in time, I've said it a million times during this video, you guys are part of my community. We are a part of the Balisong community. But if you guys are here and if you guys enjoy my content, I'm sorry, I just hit the mic. If you guys enjoy my content, if you guys enjoy my vibe, my positivity, and ever need a calm place to hang out, not to say that you can't find calm in Ethan's, but you are all welcome to my server. So, you know. All right. Let's see. AMA said, I'm curious to, wait, like what? I'm curious to know because I don't have any experience. Oh, I think we already covered that. The old videos are not public because I was younger and really awkward on camera. Okay. Tony says, it's called Magna Max. Knife Steel Nerds is a really good knife steel metallurgy channel. Okay. Yeah, but who sells Balisongs that way? Magnamax was just come out. The company originally designed it and also makes Magna Cut, S35 VN, etc. Just went bankrupt. Oh. Yes, I have a server, Tony. I will send you an invite if you are interested. I literally just got it all set up like this morning. So, all right. So I think that just about covers things for today. Again, thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for participating in what I'm trying to do. And again, what I'm trying to do is just simply, make sure I'm trying to do a couple things. I'm trying to make sure that if anybody is newer than me in the community, they have somebody to see look worse than them. So I record my drops. I put all that crap out there. I don't cover anything up. I also just support the community, the Balisong community. If I see content out there, I'm going to like, I'm going to subscribe, I'm going to comment, I'm going to do all the things and just encourage everyone in every way, shape, or form that I can. So That's what I do. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks you guys for coming along with me, toughing it out for an hour and 40 minutes through what has got to be the roughest, choppiest Balisong talk that I have done yet. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for saying hi. I love you.